No One Dies Yet by author Kobby Ben Ben captivates readers with a daring exploration of the world where mortality is a thing of the past. The book chronicles the author's relationship with his father while also dealing with issues of loyalty, betrayal, inheritance, and belonging. Today we have the privilege of delving into the mind behind this novel, a tale that challenges our very understanding of life and death. Kobby Ben Ben, who is joining us this morning, joining us via Zoom all the way from Ghana. Very good morning to you, Kobby, and thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful for this. I was in South Africa, I think 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I came to promote my book, and I also came to find a marriage of convenience, but that didn't happen. So I'm back in Ghana. So yes.
So the marriage of convenience didn't happen. But I'll tell you that in our politics, perhaps some politicians would say that a marriage of convenience has been constructed with the political parties after the elections. But let's go back to the book. I want to go to page 268 of the book. I'm going to read an excerpt of it, and I want us to discuss this. So here it goes. This is on page 268. Here's the funny thing. Ghanaians attach effeminacy to being gay. They call a femboy gay not because he sleeps with men, but because he is girly. And then they become annoyed when they find out that this femme guy sleeps with men. Being gay here doesn't equate to sleeping with men. Sleeping with men is an abomination which could get you lynched for not being gay. Expand a bit on that for us, because I guess it also speaks to the complexity of sexual identity, but also identity within the very same society that you are born from.
Yeah. Before the term gay became popular in the world, I guess, and then it trickled down to Ghana, we had a term for gayness, which is kojo besia, which is a boy who acts like a girl. So I think over the years, people substituted kojo besia for the term gay because, I mean, gays in popular media are very effeminate. So this is what they call gayness in Ghana. But then they do not associate the word gay as a word that means that you have sexual relations with men. So yeah, it's a very different.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but like it's very, very. It's a telling way of how people here view queerness and people here view sexual expressions.
Yeah.
That you have to be effeminate, you have to be feminine, you have to be a feminine man to be gay. But then you could be anything and still be gay. You could be president and very much can still be gay.
Yeah, and that's the thing about what that passage does as well, is that it challenges this whole idea that because you are seen to be masculine, therefore you can't be gay. You're probably a bit confused. You're going through a certain phase in your life. And the prayer and the cultural rituals will be able to get the demon out of you.
Exactly.
How difficult was it, though, to write this particular book for you?
Actually, in the context of Ghana now that things are very, very, they are progressing towards the anti-gay bill, they are progressing towards making it a law. It was very, very difficult to write this knowing the environmental context. So as a writer, it was my duty to reduce all of those things to atmospheric noise and not focus on the news. Because then, if I really wanted to write a queer book that I always wanted to write, a queer book that was sex forward, the queer book that was openly gay, and it had no holds barred, there were no limitations regarding what was described, I could not write this novel out of fear. So the only way to accomplish a novel like this, so brave, was to dim the environmental noise and go into my writing space. So yes, I think that coming out of this novel, I am a little bit scared than I was writing it. But when I was writing it, I had to go into this cocoon, and the cocoon was what protected me.
Yeah. I have to say also, Kobby, that I totally understand Elton. I totally understand Elton. My first album, by the way, as well, was Corinne Bailey Rae. Love, 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 love.
Okay, good.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that album. That was the first album that I ever bought. But the thing about Elton as well, the character Elton, is is the sense of promiscuity that also comes through, and also going on to applications, apps like Men for Men, dating sites as well. And the narrator in the book says that one way for sure to get killed is if you have your picture there. But having that picture there also says that this is who I am and I'm putting myself out to the world. Was it difficult for you to deal with that concept of openness around being gay, but also being able to explore the sexuality of gayness that also speaks to intimacy?
Well, I think a lot of people mistake openness for, like, throwing your window out and screaming to the world that I am gay, this is who I am. There's also a different kind of openness that African queer people, how do you call it, exhibit. It's a kind of openness that's open to, open in spaces where you feel comfortable most in, and then closed in spaces that you aren't. So in this space, in all this space, which is mine, I am very open. There's nobody around, so I'm very open about my sexuality, right? But in spaces where I feel like I'm not comfortable, like I withdraw. It's this thing where people think of openness as walking down the street carrying the flag. Like, I am not doing that. I still have to be cautious of the environment I'm in and exhibit my queerness, limit my queerness in ways that I wanted to operate in certain areas. That's why being in South Africa was really fascinating to me, because I feel like it was the first time, and I did not realize how much I was being oppressed, because when you are oppressed and you live in a system like this, you tend to create limits for yourself that make you feel as if you are free. But then you go to places where you could be totally free, and it's so mind-blowing. You start unlearning things, but then I realized that I do not have to unlearn all the things I learned because I was coming back quickly, and the marriage of convenience wasn't going to pull through. So I did not need to do much unlearning, but it just shocked me, the ways in which I was free, or I could be free in South Africa. So in South Africa, I was very open. I was a kind of openness that I want here, but I would not get it because, yeah, it's gone. So be open in certain spaces and be closed in other spaces as well.
Yeah, I haven't finished the book as yet, but right at the beginning of the book, there is a scene where Elton reaches out to kiss Nana, and then Nana jumps, and I guess jumping in shock. I don't know whether Nana was expecting Elton to make that particular approach. Later on in the book, does it deal with the question around, I don't know how to put this, but the question around...
You're asking for a spoiler.
Oh, okay, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Spoiler, I don't mind. I'm on your channel. Hey, if you want a spoiler, I'll give it to you.
Okay, but does it deal with the question of unsolicited advances, and whether that unsolicited advance sometimes people also construe it to, therefore you think that I'm gay?
Yeah, I think the entire business of Nana kissing Elton, Elton kissing Nana, was because Nana had posed, like, he had created the impression that he was queer, but he did it in a way which that's Nana, even he didn't know that he was posing as queer, because he thought these were things you do online, trading pictures. Like, his pastor told him that this is what you do to get the fans coming to the church. These Americans or these white people, these are just things you do. Like, in those days of Yahoo Chat, I don't know whether you ever used the Yahoo Chat systems, but it was just okay to just, send news. And Nana did that, and Elton thought he was queer, so he leaned in. So it was a mistake on Elton's part, which was why Kobby was introduced into the story, because now Elton needs sort of a gay companion. I think what this novel really deals with the entire Elton business and how he solicits relationships in Accra and even in Africa is to tackle men or travelers who come to these contexts and they find an African boy to do things with, like sleep with and everything. They are in their minds, these men think that they are not doing any harm, but they leave these countries, leaving these African men behind. These African men mostly thinking that these Americans are coming to take me
Yep.
from Africa and go to Ghana and go to elsewhere and give me a green card or something like that. So I think it was a topic that I needed to discuss about people or men who come to Africa or places where queerness is not allowed, and then they use that to their advantage to attain their romantic desires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kobby, thank you so much and all the best with the book. Hopefully it's flying off the shelves. The Guardian describing it as a bold and provocative debut from Ghana. Really appreciate your time and all the best.